You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Shout out to everybody who watched Charlie Adelson's closing arguments in that trial with me. It was a long one and quite fun. He just got convicted yesterday. And boy, before we start talking about JF, who is back to talking about his reputation as a killer and laughing about it, before we get into that, I just want to show you what I thought was one of the most amazing reactions to a guilty verdict. And of course, I interviewed the victim's mother, Ruth Markel. So this was a long time coming for her family. Finally, one of the Adelsons has been convicted, and hopefully more is coming in this murder for hire case. It's very quick. I just wanted to show you his reaction to the guilty verdict. It is a classic.
Please publish the verdict.
He looked like he was going to throw up all morning.
Second Judicial Circuit in and for Leon County, Florida. The state of Florida versus Charles Adelson. Case number 2016 CF 3036B. Verdict. Count 1. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. So say we all this 6th day of November, 2023.
Okay, there it goes. Just down on the table, collapsing. I haven't seen anything like that ever. And it was a glorious day for a very wealthy family that many people thought would get away with this. So that definitely was a positive in my day yesterday. And for everybody who cares about justice, but JF is back at it again. For a while, he was keeping his mouth shut, but now he has gone back to talking and starts to show off like this. Take a listen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to JFG Tonight. Yesterday, I was on a break. I tweeted, I'll be on a break tonight. House chores with de-stainer and sterilizing bleach. And people have been laughing their ass off. Some people were saying he has tasted blood again. Last time I cleaned my house with sterilizing bleach, I got accused of being a murderer by Ramsey Paul. Holy shit. I did it again, I guess. I got away with it once more. Yesterday, I again cleaned my house with my cleaning material. We have two very important subjects to.
Big surprise. Big surprise there. So what he's saying is that every time he cleans his house, people think he's a killer and he's laughing. Not once has he looked for Elora Patoine, the missing mother of his child. And I'll just say child because no one has seen this second child. And if you were following my previous episodes, he told his first wife that he could birth the child, and because he had helped monkeys give birth in his science training. So very odd to be laughing. And so he's basically strawmanning everybody's argument and saying, well, it's because I cleaned. No, what happened is you accused Elora of terrorism, of doing something terroristic, of showing something that is the number one rule that you're not allowed to show on stream. So was it the child? Was it herself? Was it something else? We don't know. But something destructive to the family. He got enraged, cut off the stream, went away for 3 days, 2 or 3 days, if I'm remembering correctly. And then says, I've cleaned my house and I've gotten it sterilized. So it's in context of the entire story. So cleaning is about the least of what makes me suspicious in the story. The number one thing is the attitude towards someone he used to profess to care about. I wouldn't go so far as to say love, but he has said he's very happy. She's in my life. We'll look at some of those clips tonight. He's never looked for her. He's never encouraged anyone else to look for her. In fact, he's discouraged people from looking for her. Big announcement for this show. But first, I'm going to take a quickie break. When I return, big announcement. Big guest coming up on Friday on this subject. Stay tuned. If you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. Okay, Friday, the king of the cold cases. He was the most winningest prosecutor in Los Angeles. Never losing a cold case, no body cases, and one of the few prosecutors who investigates the cases he tries is going to talk to us Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, about how you investigate a case like this here in America. And I think he's one of the greatest lawyers ever to practice law. That is my opinion. Check out the Durst trial if you really want to see him in action. There's no lawyer like him, and he's very candid. And I'm sure he's going to tell us a lot of fascinating and unknown stuff about prosecuting cold cases. John Lewin, King of the Cold Cases, Friday on this channel. Check it out. Furthermore, I got some really interesting questions last time we were here discussing this subject. From Political Troll 8920, it's been years since I read that North Carolina divorce document. So that's the document between his third ex-wife, and it was a custody battle before the child was ever born. They separated while she was pregnant, and JF constantly accused his ex-wife of abducting the child, and they had to explain to him, no, the child right now is a part of your ex-wife. She can't abduct the child every time she leaves the house. He accused her of being a kidnapper every time she left the house in an amazing display of Darvo. deny attack, reverse victim offender. But if I remember correctly, he swore that he would kidnap his son if he had the chance. Yes, that's right. She gave birth in secret under an assumed name with armed guards. Every woman's dream way of giving birth, certainly. Legendary archiver. It seems that he made peace with her leaving long before she left and accepted life without her. Yeah, but even if that is true, you would worry if no one has heard from someone you used to care about, love, and may have come to a horrible fate that had nothing to do with you. You would still show concern for finding them, for what happened to them. This doesn't matter if the relationship is over. This is so unusual. It's not only that he's not looking, he's discouraging the police from investigating. He said, don't look for her. She will be leaving false traces. Anyone remember that? He doesn't want them to look for her. We have never seen this attitude in a missing person case, as far as I know, ever. And if you have a case like this, let me know where I don't care who it is, ex-husband, husband, boyfriend, says don't look for her. Don't bother. I know she's doing great because I knew her well. Galoise 6442 says, I hope I pronounced your name right. It seems like he embarked on this rushed insemination spree right around the time he started talking about going away to prison for 2 years. He is making the woman feel like urgency is hers. Your biological clock is ticking, and spring it will be too late, but he knows he may be headed to jail. I'm not so sure about that. I think he knows that if he can get a woman, or a woman's willing to get pregnant before she even knows him, that she will be easy to control, that he wants someone that he can control and own easily. And JF has an interesting background, not on tonight's show, but I will go into it. His situation between his parents is very interesting. For another show, we'll talk about it. Also, so what do we know so far? We know that JF says that he dropped Elora off at a gas station in front of cameras, the cameras being the most important thing, of course, meaning my alibi is the most important thing. And we know that the police say a sighting was reported on the 19th in Moncton, which interestingly, Elora's scientist father works at a university in Moncton. But let's take a look together at where that gas station could be and how far it is from where Elora was last sighted. So JF has described it as 2 hours away. It's 2 hours, 23 minutes on the bus. But it's about an hour 13-minute drive. So here is where he dropped her off. Going out of the... Let me get this out. So maybe they'll see where I am. So it goes very, 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 very close. Let me see if I can go back. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so he drops her off here. And it's all the way, she ends up all the way over there. But there's only 2 gas stations in that whole area. So if you go gas stations, 2, it could only be 1 of 2, and it's right near the bus. So if someone wanted to take a bus to that area, that would be a convenient place to say you last saw Elora. So there's a Shell station here, an Echo station here, Esso station, excuse me, and an Irving Oil. So there's 2 gas stations very close to the Confederation Bridge. Of course, the bridge is right here, that yellow line. And that's the whole trip, zooming out. For those who are interested. But what also is so alarming is that no one in her family has said anything. I would think that they're being asked to stay quiet about the investigation, but there's nothing that's stopping them from putting up flyers, talking to the news crews in a more general way, encouraging more information from the public, encouraging the public to keep their eyes out for her, encouraging the public to come forward with what they know. And as you know, we've talked about Summer Kneebone, who went missing in the same area and was sadly found murdered. And her murderers have been indicted, two of them. But when she was missing, there was an entire website set up to findsummerkneebone.org. And this is what we expect to find in a missing persons case. Videos about links to Crime Stoppers, Prince Edward Island Crime Stoppers, about the person who's missing, pictures of them, place to write in with your sightings. We don't have anything like this. I find it so odd in a town or in an area where very little happens. I was looking at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police's Facebook posts, and recently they solved the incredible case of the missing snowblowers. Someone got their snowblowers, I think their snowmobiles, something like that, stolen, and they solved that right away. But this, not a peep. I'm very curious what you think, why you think they're being so quiet, and why everyone connected to Elora is being so quiet. It's very odd. We do know that. So what we know is that she has one daughter with JF, and it looks like from JF's streams, I used to think that he moved in a woman right away, but I think if he did that, he'd be talking about it right away. More likely, it looks like he's looking at something like a baby monitor. There are times when he is streaming and his eyes dart to the right before he lets the screen go black and takes a break. And we know that he's been taking a lot of breaks away from his show. Is that because he has more meetings with investigators? How many times are they going to interview him? And what happened to his lie detector test? Anyone know how that turned out? Not a peep about that. I would think that if he passed it, he'd be screaming about it all over social media and beyond. But let's just go back to the original story. The police in Canada. So he's not looking for Mama Elora, excuse me. The police are. The police in Canada is looking for Elora Patoine, my words, not his, because in true Elora fashion, my words, she has left our home in June and has disappeared from the map. I am sure that Elora is fine. I know she has been safe for at least 2 days after I dropped her where she wanted. See? She was in charge of everything, guys. I just let her have her liberté. What? What? What is everybody getting so upset about? After I dropped her where she wanted to do it, guys. So the most important thing here is that he knows she was okay for 2 days. Mama JF, and it's not going to come back to him. This is all about alibi making and storytelling. Elora left our home entirely voluntarily. So not just voluntarily, entirely voluntarily. To go live a life of adventure wherever it would bring her. But since she has electronically disappeared, not connecting to her cell phone or updating me or her family, I ask anyone who would have encountered her to just notify the police. Like, just, when you get a chance, hop on by the police station in your own leisurely pace so that they can know she is safe. And I ask her if she wants to leave a note to the police, me or her family, to ensure everyone of her safety. If she wants. Not urgently, not I demand. If she wants. Because I'm not so worried, because obviously I made peace with it long ago. It's such BS. If you want to send an encrypted tip anonymously, I would love to receive them and control the investigation. That's what my opinion of that. But Elora had left before, and I thought it was very interesting to look at his attitude towards Elora when she left. And he gives her an ultimatum. Let's take a look at it together, shall we?
From now, you are not on your way, either through plane or other forms of travel. You are not on your way back to our lives. I will be investing my effort in bringing another woman here, and within the space of 36 hours, there could be an inseminated woman standing here. Also, Mama JF is telling me that she's interested in coming back.
No.
So he threatened. So this is someone else, by the way. This is MKY. Clips. And they're going to be talking. This is like a young kid. Like, he looks like 16 years old, but strangely has some pretty decent takes. He did this compilation a couple years ago. Of course, they got together August 8th, JF and Elora, of 2018, according to them. But he's threatening her. Who else thought of Dr. Evil in the beginning of this. He's like, you have 24 hours to come back, Mama JF.
Oh, way. No freaking way. Mama JF wants to come back? No.
Normally, I don't take comebacks after someone separates from me. But I started this whole Wheel of Fortune on top of it. And the problem is I'm faced with, there's now 7 participants. There are 7 women.
7 women. And this was all made up, I'm sure. Because now it's been months and he can barely find one woman willing to get inseminated. It's such a tempting offer, no? Isn't it every woman's dream to get inseminated? Inseminated by JF, every woman's dream.
Interested in reproducing with me.
Wait. So throughout that whole Wheel of Fortune thing, he got 7 women interested? 7 women wants to move in with JF and live like his sex slave. What the heck?
Some of them can readily move. They could be here tomorrow and they could be inseminated within 36 hours.
You hear that, ladies? You want to get inseminated within 36 hours? All you have to do is go to JF's house and spread those legs.
So it's extremely...
How does a 17-year-old kid get this? Get how a woman wouldn't find this appealing? And JF, who's how old? What is he? Isn't he in his 40s? Doesn't get it? The kid is like, this guy, no woman wants to be with this guy. He's like, normally I don't take comebacks, but I am desperate. And apparently my threats work. So if you are not getting the point of all these JF live streams, I'm really hoping women pay attention to this kind of man, that it's not, these are, anytime you have a kind of coercive control, man who is only interested in relationships with huge disparities in power dynamics like age, IQ, wealth. But what we know is that Elora owns that home. So when he said in the beginning, sometimes I need her to sign things, she owns things, it has to be the home. Because we know in 2017, there are legal documents online where she is being sued for rent money and then getting evicted for not payment. So she went, that was in 2017. And in 2018, August, she's living with JF. So he gets her right at a vulnerable moment.
Yeah, uncomfortable for me to be on the one hand interacting with these women and on the other hand, not being able to honor my engagements with them just because some other unreliable woman is oscillating on our desires. And so that's my question to you guys.
Our desires. Because she can't have her own desires. It's our desires. What I desire, you desire too. So if she's vacillating, then she's obviously having second thoughts about her own feelings. But she, it's such an interesting use of language. I know people have argued that it's the language difference, but I believe he's been speaking English his whole life, in addition to French.
Tonight, what should I do? Should I leave a 24 hours return armistice to Mama JF?
That's right, bitch. You have 24 hours to come back to me to be inseminated, or this relationship is over.
You have the choice between, yes, 24 hours to return. I cannot do more than 24 hours because as I'm speaking with these other women and creating hope in them, at some point it's me who becomes unreliable because of the oscillations of the unreliable people around me. So
No, I can't let them down from their lifelong dream of getting inseminated by me. That is too much of a disappointment for most women to bear. Don't you agree?
I'm at the point where there are definitely super interesting women who could be readily moving with me, and they seem enthusiastic about it. And so I cannot dishonor my sense of honor in front of these women for weeks, being waiting for Mama JF. Maybe she will come back, maybe she will not come back. This is why the only choice I'm offering is a 24-hour armistice, knowing that our finances with Mama JF are extremely intermingled. We have a family together, and so it seems that perhaps Mama JF had not realized the extent to which it's easy for me to get a new girlfriend. I can get 7 girlfriends. There could be a group of women lined up here.
You heard that, Mama JF? If you don't come back within 24 hours, I will have 7 women in here.
Yeah, he's going to start a harem. He's ready to go full Keith Raniere style harem. And of course, we know he did get $25,000 from Jeffrey Epstein, who fantasized about making an insemination factory, New Mexico, of women who would just give birth. These men live to control women.
Ready to inseminate, and we are going to plop out those little bebés like never before.
And they could be inseminated immediately. So it's a tough choice, but what do you guys think on the regular chat? Would you like to see Mama JF back? Let me know your choice, either through the survey on Entropy or in the regular chat. I'm inclined to give perhaps 24 hours because of the intensity of our intermingling. We have a family life with products of this family.
Products of this family. Does he mean babies? Has he had bebés with Mama JF? Or what?
Yeah, we know he's had an older child. So they've had one girl at this point. But we wonder what happened to that second child that Elora was seen being heavily pregnant with. And no one's seen that child. So did something happen to that child? Did he not want to have her give birth in the hospital during COVID and have the baby get the jab? Certainly, his Twitter has totally disappeared from around that time where she would have given birth. Seems like it's been scrubbed. So was he scared and said, was he scared of this baby being jabbed, given the jab? So he convinced her to have a home birth and something went wrong, or was it something worse than that? Why is the subject of children the one subject that's off limits when he's so proud of his products? And that's how he always talks about children, his children as things, as objects. And the child that he had with his third ex-wife that he fought in courts to get custody of and was denied even supervised visitation. He never talks about that kid and had never inquired about the child's well-being. So it's not the children that he's interested in. It's not spending time with the children. It's just a means of control. it's so sinister and cynical.
What else? What other product of this family can he mean? I am so confused. I have not seen Mama JF plop out any bebes. I don't know what this is about, and it scares me.
Certainly would suffer if Mama JF was to continue going away. So we'll see. I'm inclined to give 24 hours, but if she doesn't come back within 24 hours, I'm gonna have to move on because I cannot be unreliable to a new woman. This is against my values.
Like, the more I hear about this story, the more I learn, the more fucked up it gets. What is up with JF and inseminating and bebes and having like a harem of women to impregnate? What is this product? What is this gift Mama JF has given him? There are so many questions, so much lore to try to figure out.
Here, I'll explain it to you. Some psychopaths, they don't really have a sexuality. It's just about power and control. So you'll hear often like about male psychopaths sleeping with men and women. It's not it's not a how we normally think of as a relationship. Babies are just a means to control. And the number one thing that they want to control is women because they see them as like, uncontrollable. It's like a fantasy. Have them all under his power.
Out, and
this we saw in the Nexium story when people would say Keith Raniere had everything, had it all. So enslaving women, abusing women, starving women, as long as they're loyal to you and will sleep with you, that's having it all.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to figure this thing out. This is the start of his stream, and it just gets weirder and weirder.
Sijanam says, punish Mama JF's abandonment. Yes, I'm typically inclined to do this. I would do exactly this if it wasn't that we have living projects together. We have products of our union, and so for the good of these products, sometimes it is good to leave a chance to recover the relationship.
Wait, so when he talks about products, he actually means his children. He's got children with Mama JF, and he calls them his products? That's sick. This man is actually sick. He doesn't care about his children. He doesn't have like a personal relationship with them. It seems like he just thinks of them like a fucking store owner thinks about a bag of potato chips. What is wrong with this man?
Lope Diaguirre says, to be fair, Mama JF's YouTube videos were good. Engineering says, Mama JF revient parce qu'elle voit que vous avez des options.
So do you notice he skips right back into that? Oh, I really enjoyed Mama JF's videos. Oh, not about me? Well, I'm not interested in talking about that. Let's skip through that. Now he's reading in French.
Et que you're Chad. Elle est un flake. Okay. My God, the energy is very anti-Mama JF tonight.
So he's choosing what to read, and then he's pretending like, well, there's just so many negative comments about Elora because obviously she's so hateable and I'm so lovable.
Engineering says, Mama JF is a typical hypergamous woman who only returns because she sees that you have options. Yes, but that is the nature of dating,
So this is like an interesting stream. So it's partially for Elora to make her come back, and to make her come back even in a more obedient style than before. So she's going to come back and she's going to have more conditions that she has to agree with and more controls on her behavior. We heard before how he's complaining how she had to air out the house like you do if you have take a hot shower in the winter and you don't want mold to form, so you open the windows. How much she cost him on the heating and how great it is going to be this year because he's going to be saving on the heating. It's never positive when he's talking about Elora. It's always something that she's destructive, like all women are destructive to the pillars of the house. She was committing an act of terrorism on the stream. She's lived a life of debauchery, which is totally untrue. I'll go through in another stream. Totally untrue. And I saved her. I was the white knight. I saved her from it. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When we get back, more of Gariepy demanding that Elora return in 24 hours. This was Elora's first time she went out, right? Left. But strangely, everyone knew where she was. She kept her cell phones going and she had a destination. More Gariepy when we return. If you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. So whoever sent me the comment about Dusty Smith, yeah, I'm aware that Dusty Smith has talked to someone, a neighbor, someone in that area, and apparently he thinks he knows where Elora is buried. Great. Tell the police. I don't know why he's live streaming about it. Tell the police if you think you know. I hope this neighbor has told the police.
One of the art of retaining women is to show them constantly that you have options. I hate doing this. I really hate doing this because I'm not a player of that kind.
He hates doing it, but he's doing it over and over again. There's another clip when she returns we can go through where he says, "Oh, the chat didn't want me to take you back." And she looks so defeated, so diminished. It's really sad. He knows what he's doing. He wants to do this. He's going for maximum to hurt her intensely. And he knows her by now. He knows what will hurt her. And he knows how to manipulate her. And that's what we're watching.
But the reality is women have brains, and these brains are like they are in the bird kingdom. They are brains that respond to mate attraction, and a male becomes more desirable because other females desire him.
Did you hear that, Mama JF? JF thinks you're a bird brain, but you're still going to come back to him, aren't you? This is not going to be over. This is just going to keep going and going forever.
Pineapple Platypotamus says, I liked Mama JF though. Well, today is the day of choices. And right now the poll seems to be indicating for Mama JF to not come back. No, move on with the Wheel of Fortune.
The choice is yours, Mama JF. Come back to be inseminated by me, or stay away forever.
I have to give it to this kid, though. He's really right on for the right on. But of course, his incel creepy politics crowd, 3/4 of them are saying, according to his poll, and who knows? I mean, did he create this before the stream? Does he have a pie chart that can just come up like this on the fly? Maybe. But I'm sure that this was exactly how his audience voted, or how he would like to represent how his audience feels. But so when Elora comes back, she'll be so grateful that JF didn't listen to his audience.
The choice is yours.
You guys are totally headed for the future. Well, let's see how the survey evolves along the night. Pineapple Platypotamus says, buy a dog. Okay, that is kind of a rough pill, but you guys are really hostile to Mama JF coming in. 13 people have voted up to now. No.
Oh, okay, so that's 13 people? That's a pie chart with 13 people? Okay. So I don't think I would even want JF to own a dog. But what I'm wondering is, would more people be interested in the story if it were a really cute dog that were lost, that he left at a gas station and said, go out into the wilderness? Dog, be free, have your liberté. I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Move on with the wheel. And 7 people said yes, 24 hours for Mama JF to return. Wow, I didn't expect such hostility toward Mama JF. Okay. It's good to know the feelings of the crowd on this. Vol says, I think it's not so much hostility rather than trust broken. Also, don't you think there should be consequences even if she were to come back? Otherwise, what lesson would be learned? No, you're totally right. You know, I don't want to be too kind either. Someone who betrays your trust and leaves like that must be. There must be some limits to their behavior, or else they will constantly do it. So clearly, if Mama JF decides to come back, it will have to be on a very short window. So it would have to be within 24 hours, because I can literally have another woman within 24 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, JF. Maybe things have changed in the past couple years. But where's your woman now? Where are these 7 women now? And of course, this is probably the one thing that's going to hurt his feelings. Not that my general opinion about his character and his relationships and making his wife disappear. What I'm wondering is, can you charge him? Could he be considered a guardian of a vulnerable person? Could they charge him on his, what I consider his BS story that he left her at a gas station? I don't think it ever happened. And I don't think there's too many people out there who think it did happen. The people interested in this story seem mostly, I don't believe the sighting was real on the 19th. The only person that knows that that date is important is JF. Because, and I have queued up Andrew Wilson from The Crucible, who interviewed JF, and his take, he's rationalizing what he knows to be true. He's like, yeah, it's suspicious, but JF is such an extraordinary person that it just looks weird. People aren't that extraordinary. We're all within a spectrum of behavior, of normalcy. And when people go way off of it and say, yeah, this has been 4 months of happiness, don't bother looking for her. I'm going to save so much on my heating bill this year. It's great, even if you're broken up. You should have some concern with a person that you spent years of your life with when their life is in peril, when they could be dead, and you could have nothing to do with it. This is not a normal reaction to never look for something that's lost. This is the same issue that came up in the Madeleine McCann case. Big surprise there. Big news there. They can't charge Christian Bruckner, which everyone who really knows that case knew where it was going. One big dead end. Christian Bruckner was the last in a long line of patsy suspects that they used the press to blame and never really bring any real charges. They did a whole search of the area, digging everything, try to find some clue. Nope. Because there's no sign of abduction. And here, there's no sign, no evidence of this wilderness trip that she had been preparing years for. Remember, he said that she had been preparing for this for years. Yet all she brought was one coat, small backpack. Come on.
Right here living with me. So there's this, and I would expect a change of behavior, a respect of what I bring here. It's like you go far from here, you realize the archness of the world, and I would expect as a result that she would come to appreciate that everything I've done here, everything I've built, the vegetables that are growing in the backyard, that all of this is a form of stability, that is a proof of love, and that she should return that love to the maximal extent that she should.
And according to the neighbors, nothing much grew in that garden. Wasn't attended to. So he's, according to the neighbor, people that knew her, maybe one summer they did have a great garden. But what they saw was it was mostly barren. No one saw this great garden. So he's presenting a fantasy.
Should not be a trouble in my life.
So the man who calls his children products and who talks about inseminating women is now teaching Mama GF about love. It's so crazy to me. Like, dude, you kept her in the attic. You wouldn't even speak to her. And the only interaction you had with her was to fuck her. What kind of love is that, you sicko?
Because it is adding trouble in my life to have this instability, to have someone who is unclear about her own mind and unclear about what she sees in the world and unclear about how she feels. I don't want noise like this in my life. So definitely I would want.
And according to Elora, she was convinced JF kicked her out. So did he do this? This is my question. Did he do this as a way to not only manipulate his audience, but to manipulate Elora and say, get out, I'm not interested anymore, and then come back because he just wanted more control?
Want a return in love and peace and in non-troublemaking, because of course that's a common observation whenever a love story ends. But my God, does silence sound good? Like, my God, is that like the neutrality of the world and the trees and the wind. I don't want to be deprived of this. So if Mama JF comes back, she must be more pleasant than the trees and the wind.
See, there you go. That's what it's about. I'm going to kick you out and then take you back in, but under conditions. And he's convinced her that she can't live without him. Right? Before she met him, she was, that's the way he sees it, living a degenerate life. He was the white knight. And here he wants to have neutrality with the wind, and he can't have that when she's in the house. Can't go out into nature and walk around. He wants her to be more quiet, leave him alone. Really what he's saying is, I want her to be more obedient. But he's honing in on a cliche about women that they never stop talking. You know, you hear men complain. They're so yappy. They talk all the time. Women and their annoying feelings and their talkiness. Gosh darn those darn women.
What a guy. What an absolute Chad. So not only is he very skeptical about having her return, but he's telling his audience that her constant nagging was so detrimental to him that just having peace and quiet, just sitting there in silence is pleasurable to him, to the point where he tells her that one of the caveats for her coming back is for her to be quiet. That's right, bitch. You better shut up. That's right, bitch. You better shut up.
She must be coming back in love and respect. Pineapple Platypotamus says, how about a Great Dane? They don't like to break anything. You mean a Danish woman? I'm not familiar with them. I do not know how they act in the world. I don't know. I can't answer your question.
Does he really not know what a Great Dane dog is? Does he really not know the breed, the Great Dane dog? They're like little ponies. Speaking of Great Danes, guess who owns a Great Dane? Guess who owns a bunch of them? John Lewin, and he's going to be my guest, the king of the cold cases this Friday. What a segue. Thanks, JF.
Engineering Superhumans. Well, that's a bizarre YouTube nickname. Get the base, the harem. Mama Wretch has given you a grand opportunity for a super chat lifestyle. Seize the day. Oh my God, you guys are making good arguments.
Does his audience really fall for that fake laugh? Do they really do? I mean, he does it every single show. That ridiculous fake laugh. Okay. Maybe I'll start doing that. After comments.
But yeah. Maybe I should get the group of women who has suggested to come live with me. But I don't know. I would have to check. Is polygamy illegal in Canada? I would have to check, but I'm sure there's something feasible. I mean, this group of women each wanted me to be the inseminator of each of their babies. I mean, that would be productive.
He's actually seriously considering having a harem at this point. He's unironically considering having a harem. This is so incredible. Can you imagine the JF harem live streams? He has 7 retarded women there, each and one of them holding their little half retard, half JF potato babies.
That would be the most productive relationship I've been in, where serial insemination. First month, 3 babies. Chronic Boom says, but JF, if she doesn't come back, you won't have silence for long. You're on the insemination forever route. Maybe I am. I do expect that there will be some point in my life where I don't even solicit new girlfriends. In fact, I'm approaching that moment. I mean, I've said it. At 50 years old, I don't think I'll be looking for replacing girlfriends that leave. Nicholas Petrus says, if Mama wasn't unfaithful, reunite the family. No, she wasn't unfaithful, but just the fact of leaving, you know, of going to thinking that that you can abandon everything I've created for her and our family and just leaving me with everything on my shoulders. That is the betrayal. That is what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Now the other part of me thinks like, could he handle one day with a small child? Is he like, I can't take it. Like, I can't believe, like, I can't handle it. I want to sleep. I want peace. Is that what that's all about? He wants to commune with the wind and the air and the quiet. Is it this baby driving him crazy? This product? I love almost my favorite JF moment is when he talks about having extra kids. Remember that? He wanted to make extra kids. Like, so if I lose one or two in a custody battle, I'll still have a few extra products.
Noble Savage says, forgive and forget. Time heals all wounds. I think you two can talk through your issues and resolve. Québécois Foie Gras says, I'm Team Mama. There's a lot of people voting on entropy. I think that this
So when there were 13 people voting and he could show up the pie grid that nobody wanted her back, he was showing up that pie chart every 2 seconds. But now that some Team Elora people come into the chat, we don't see the pie chart popping up so much. And the color seems to be draining from his face.
Subject is touching people deeply. Engineering Superhumans sends a super chat. Thank you so much. He says, this woman wants you back simply because she sees that other women are getting in on the action and she wants to cut them off. Basic female nature. Yes, it is basic female nature. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't recruit this basic female nature to repair something that is valuable and important for the next generation, you know. I'm a hard guy.
So now he's talking about women's ability to repair something. They can help him repair things. But aren't women so destructive to the pillars of the house? So he's talking about this being a major blow to not only his life, but to future generations. Because I guess the products that he will create will have a massive impact on future generations. Is that where he's going? I can't even follow that.
You know, Mama JF left, 4 days ago, I announced on my show, approximately. I left her 5 days. And I engaged in an international contest that now leads to 7 very interesting women ready to move here. I think it is not your usual.
How does he know that these women are even real and he's not being catfished? I mean, this seems so made up to me. The whole thing seems so made up. But we know she owns that home. Her name is on the deed to that home. And if they aren't married, I don't know what the laws are in Canada. In America, I believe it's 7 years to be declared legally dead. And where's her family? Is it going to be some kind of custody battle between JF and Elora's family. And his mom is also in the area. He's one of 3 kids. So it is so weird, this whole story. I've heard the mom has a home near there and she's taking care of the kids. His mother. I've heard Elora's parents have a kid, the oldest daughter. People have seen him with the oldest daughter, but not the baby. No one has seen that baby in that area. Is the baby even alive?
Usual situation. I think we can understand that the usual female genes is not evolved for that level of chadness.
The human body just wasn't made for this level of chadness, JF. There's no way anything was prepared for this level of chadness, sir.
That most female genes probably estimate that there's a chance a month later, that there's a chance 6 months later. With Papa JF, it's a matter of hours before a candidate shows. And within less than 5 days, we already have 7, including a group, one of them being a group of women who wants to be inseminated. And so I am for tolerance, especially when young minds are...
So he thinks he's an alpha male? That's the Chad stuff? He thinks he's like the ultimate desired male, like every woman would want to, every woman would desire to be inseminated by him.
Involved. Engineering Superhumans sends a super chat. He says, have her as a member of the Aaron. As a term for her stay, she asked for it. Autistic brother, put women in their place when you can. Oh my God. We have a good crowd.
Yeah, that's a good crowd. That's a good guy there saying put her in her place where you can, because he knows what he's doing. That's a guy just like JF. He knows that this is a game. He knows this isn't real. He knows there's no 7 women. He knows JF is desperate to have Elora come back. This is about control. Absolutely about control. Come back more obedient than ever.
Out of good men who want to impose honor and strict behavior on the public space. I love it. I love it. You guys are kind of my religious wingmen. You guys are imposing a morality and mores to the village that I'm too libertarian to impose. 1 out of 10. Approximately 2 out of 10 for these girls. This girl maybe.
This is like my favorite thing when men who obviously aren't a 10 out of 10 feel that they can rate women's looks. Well, I'm a man. I'm an authorité. Just gonna skip by this. So, enough of that. We don't need to look at the women. Rate the women's soccer team. That horrible Megan Rapinoe. Oh my Lord.
Thought she destroyed your dreams the other day, but little did she know the situation at hand. Remember that she would have never given you a second look without YouTube fame. Well, yes, that is certainly the case. Mama JF probably got interested in me because I had YouTube fame, but that is the nature of women. That is how you need to take them. You won't change this. They are looking for fame, and that's also why there's now many women writing to me and willing to...
Yeah, that's why Elora got with you, for fame. She was a fan, but I don't think anybody can accuse Elora of being fame hungry. Otherwise, she would have kept her channel, demanded to keep her channel. We would have seen Elora t-shirts, Elora merch. Probably would have been one of the cooler things you've done. I find her much more interesting than JF.
To move with me, like I've not even talked to them yet, and they have the plan. They know how they would travel here. It's quite impressive. That is the power of the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Engineering Superhumans says, this mama drama is the best your show has had to offer since Dutton. This is my first time super chatting. Bring on the babes and the supers shall flow. Okay, bro. Carol Martel sends a super chat on Entropy. She says, guys, imagine 8 Mama JFs interrupting the stream and giving JF a kiss at the same time. It would be as hilarious as annoying. Indeed, it would. It would. I prefer monogamy. That is always what I've preferred. But now
Wasn't it Chris Rock who said men are only as faithful as their options? That's what's coming to mind here. I'm going to take another break. I need a palate cleanser. It's a lot of JF. It's a lot of him. A lot of him and a lot. This is really, if you can open your ears, this is the essence of who he is. It's not about some kind of human connection. It's really about control and getting back a woman who he can control and manipulate. And I wonder what Elora would have been like had she not come under his influence at such a young age. We know that when she was 17, she was talking to him on Twitter. But what else does she own? We know she owns the house. What else does she own? What is he worried about needing her signature for? Meet you on the other side of the break. If you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. Sometimes those breaks just aren't long enough. I feel like we need a real palate cleanse from JF, all this JF, but you can see what he put her through. And then when she gets back, she says, oh, I thought you wanted me to leave. I thought you were breaking up with me. And he quiets her down like, no one listened to that. No one listened to the man, the woman, the 5'10" woman next to me. Such a height disparity between them. It's making the thumbnail so hard to get them both in frame. I was like, he looks so small next to her to keep her in the frame, and him, he's sitting down and she's kind of leaning over. She's 5'10". I believe he's 5'3".
I'm faced at 37 years old. I'm faced with a serious invitation and option. A group of women wants to come live with me. And I don't know how that would work. I don't know where would people sleep. Would it be like I rotate between the women? How does that work? Would they sleep together? It's extremely shocking to me to have to consider this, but I have to.
I am so happy that JF wants to make the sacrifice, guys, to live with 7 women that are desperately craving his cock, just so that he can impregnate them and pop out more bebes. He has to think about this. He has to, guys. He is making a sacrifice for us, and I salute you, sir. I salute you.
YouTube user says, I knew Mama JF would come back.
Ego is getting bruised. It's so cruel, this whole thing, really.
A fortune. So there is a majority of you guys who are disinterested in me leaving a chance to Mama JF. Well, given the involvement of human beings who could suffer from the disappearance of Mama JF, I'm going to give it the 24 hours. So Mama JF, you are hereby noticed.
I'm going to end this. Okay. Is it still frozen? Can everybody hear me? All right. Well, I'm going to end it here. Okay. Well, that was a interesting little break there. I hear the people are complaining that the video is frozen. Is everybody can hear and see me now? Okay. That was actually a nice break from JF, but that is how he ends the stream. Let's just finish it up with this, but we all remember what happens when, right? When she returns. Let's take a look at that.
Also,
Okay, we'll go.
manipulate boy just to get his little fuck toy back.
Yes, I want to see my.
Look at this sick, demented smile on JF's face. He knows what he's done. He knows what he's achieved with having Mama JF back. He is so smug that he was able to manipulate this retarded woman to come back and be inseminated by him yet again. There were no 7 women. Of course there weren't. It was all an elaborate ploy just to get his little fuck toy back. Bravo.
And now you are back with us, and you are with me all the way.
Yes, because I thought.
It's really hard to hear like a 17-year-old talk about Elora like that. I don't know. I find it just really distasteful. But I'm not in touch with the young people.
You wanted to break with me.
Ah, you thought this, and so you broke with me.
No, I thought you don't love me anymore and stuff.
Ah, okay. Well, you know, I am an artist with a poker face. You have to give that to Mama JF.
No, he probably told her to get out. Look at the body language there. If that's not like a defeated woman, I don't know what is. I understand she's very tall and she has to, bend down to JF's seated level. But I believe her. I think he told her to get out.
I'm an artist with a poker face. Notice how he doesn't even look at her. He mostly looks at the display. He barely will even look at Mama JF. He is so fucking insane.
I am quite cold-blooded in my expression.
Oh my god, Mela.
So this is like the same exact attitude, cadence, way he expresses himself when he's talking about Elora disappearing. When he's talking about how he let her off, it's the same exact dead stare out into the camera, same cadence, same style of speech. it's odd.
I don't care. Me, I can leave if you want. but
I don't want you
care.
to leave. I've never wanted you to leave. I've always told you I will always be happy with you, and I will never leave you. And it's not because I feel bound to you by force. I want to be with you. You're a wonderful woman. I mean, look at you in this beautiful dress.
Yeah. But you asked the chat and they don't even want me.
Yeah, it's true. The chat was 50% saying I shouldn't accept Mama JF back.
Oh my god.
50%.
Oh no.
I appreciate.
Well, he presented it as much worse, right? It wasn't. It was 24-15.
Yeah, they're kind of like the male friends that I need to get me back into a kind of objective view of the world. Because to me, I was like, of course, let her come back. Fuck the Wheel of Fortune, you know? And anyways, this whole Wheel of Fortune experiment I've done has turned out to bring some positivity to our community, because now I'm taking the women who have applied and I'm sending them to the singles in the regular chat. And it's working.
Nice.
I'm pairing people who are made to be together.
Oh, he's a matchmaker. He will make you a match for insemination. So we all know that's what happened. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, for the night. But that's what happened when she returned Friday, 6:00. John Lewin, king of the cold cases, deputy DA, the most winningest prosecutor, one of them in LA, never lost a cold case. And also one of the few prosecutors who investigates cold cases, works very closely in the investigation process, interviews all the witnesses himself, very hands-on. He's going to tell us how you would investigate a case like this. Friday at 6:00. Tune in. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, all the way through the stream, please hit the thumbs up. If you're listening on podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Help me spread the word about innocence fraud, coercive control, and I'll see you next time. Have a great night, everybody.